first evidence of this was back in 1977. I was 13 years old. It was just before summer break, and a teacher came in as a substitute. She was a petite, small-framed black woman. And when she came, she talked about who she was. She was a professional dancer. She danced on stage, and she danced in movies. I was inspired. I wanted to dance. So I acted on that inspiration that she gave me that day. Now my mom, she's a single parent of 6 kids. She worked. So acting on that inspiration required me to be determined and fearless. So I took all that money that I collected from passing out newspapers and babysitting, and I signed up for her dance class. Now her dance class was clear on the other side of town. I also had to get there. I lived in a predominantly white neighborhood on the west side of Columbus. So what I did is I mapped it out on the bus route, and I was going to get there every week for this dance class. I recall going to the bus stop, getting up on that bus, and having a seat. As I got closer to the destination, the neighborhood changed. The people on the bus were different. They looked different. They had darker skin. There was a lady I recall wearing this bag over her head. Didn't quite understand that. Now remember, it was 1977. Some teenage boys came on, had big bushy hair that they wore these wonderful picks right in the middle. It was definitely different. I recall stepping off the bus at that near East Side location and walking a couple blocks to my destination. The neighborhood was different. It was definitely not kept up. There were buildings that had bars. There were buildings that had plywood on the walls or over the windows. It was a different neighborhood. As I looked around, I noticed I was the minority in this neighborhood. When I walked into the dance class, I was definitely the minority. I was the only white person in the room. But I wanted to dance. I was inspired. So I attended the classes and I learned the dances. I wanted to learn to dance. Step, step. Okay, you're right. I didn't get it. It took a long time. Like I did not pick up on the dances. I was what a lot of people would consider that stereotypical white girl that can't dance. All the other kids in the class picked it up just like that. And there I was, struggling. I tried with all my might. Still, it just wasn't working for me. I would go home and I would practice. And I couldn't remember the moves. Okay, so step, cha-cha-cha. Then do I turn? Wait, no, is it? It was difficult. I had the hardest time. What I recall about the class and my classmates is they were patient with me. They looked past my inability, past my stereotype, and they were patient, and they were caring. They did not tease me or make fun of me. I think they saw that I was that person that acted on inspiration with fearless determination. Why is it that dumb blondes, snooty rich people, Asian geniuses. They seem innocent enough. Other stereotypes are just downright destructive. Downright destructive. The little girl with the hijab who walks down the street with a backpack. Stereotype is a terrorist. Do we look beyond the stereotype and find the character within? The boys with the big, bushy hair. Do we think thug? Or do we look beyond the stereotype and recognize they're owning their own person? Today I stand before you inspired, with fearless determination, inspired by the words of Martin Luther King Jr. He had a dream that we look beyond the color of our skin, that we look beyond that facade, and we look at the character within. I today am inspired by that dream. A few generations behind, still inspired by his dream, and I stand before you to challenge every one of us, because the only way we're going to change that is to look within us at our character, and then when we look outside at each person that we meet, we look beyond what we see on that facade, and we look within, and we look for the character. So I challenge each of you to live that dream, be inspired by that vision, and to look for the character.